Now, there is a aphorism that proclaims the youth as the leaders of tomorrow. This ordinarily ought to brook no contradiction in the contemplation of reality as governed by the natural laws of succession, in which one generation plays out its role and yields the stage for another, as a way of advancing the cause of the human experience. Well, maybe not as much in Nigeria. Here, there appears the notion of divine right to leadership, which transcends the categories of time and persists a chosen breed even in the face of changing norms and times. Now, while steady progression of time is no doubt about to ease out a generation that has clung tightly to political power since the dawn of independence from British colonial rule in 1960, there is no greater evidence that the playbook of political power and participation can no longer remain the same. If any, it is clear that the youth of Nigeria are intent no longer being bystanders in the affair of governance and how their country is being run. On the contrary, the youths no longer want to be leaders of tomorrow, but those of today. But before we go into the discussion, Trust TV's Yusuf Akogu speaks to a cross-sections of Nigerians in the capital city of Abuja.
For opting time, Nigeria has been calling on the old guards to leave the political scene. Young politicians now use captions like generational change in governance structure as campaign slogan. However, the question on the lips of many Nigerians is whether the youths are ready to lead. Is power given or taken? We feel the pulse of some Nigerians.
They just need a little enlightenment, self-confidence, and talking of young people, it also depends on the category of young people. Is it the same, coming from the same circle, men or women? Because if we are advocating for young people to take over the economy or the government, it should be women this time. Yes. If we can't get the change we desire from the men, we are ready to take over.
What is happening in Nigeria is not for youths. Believe me, if you are youth today, what is happening, the same thing you will do. The country already corrupt. If you're claiming that you are youth and you come, you do better, the people that are top, they will kneel you down. They don't have access on yourself, on you. You don't have any access. Definitely you come to the power today, you must follow their own. And that's what is happening to our country today.
The young people are ready, since the old ones are not good enough to handle the country anymore. I think the young youth are ready to take up leadership in Nigeria. So the only thing we have to do to make this country a better place for both me and you and for everybody is to give the youth a chance. Let them show themselves, and you see the country is going to be a better one.
I'm not sure they are ready because of one thing I would say. Everybody already be corrupt from their home. Even we need to revive our home. We need to revive our home before we can do anything on this thing. There's nowhere youth, every youth, and most of them, you see some people are just graduate. What are you want? I want to work in chef. I want to work in Mobi. I wanted to be this. I want to be this. Everybody are corrupt. It's only God intervention we need in this nation.
Actually, some of them are ready, some of them are not. Okay. On the look up things, you can see, for example, let me cite an example. Like, I'm from Benue State. I was born in Benue. And the previous governor, one of the previous governors, Susan, was almost my mate. You can see the kind of atrocity that goes during his regime, in which we are not happy. For some of us that came from that part of the country, you see. So that is why I say some of us, some of them are ready, while some are not ready.
It's better make you trying to youth rule this country, Nigeria, because many things happening. Unless we thank God, pray, we are pray for this country. But now we want to use a dead youth just rule this country. We'll see how they think would hold it in like that. All the old people who had to do before, we don't see anything. We don't see anything.
It is a good time indeed, but the condition of Nigeria, they have positioned Nigeria that this old man will continue to be in power until we take time for allow the youth to reach. But my own contribution should give them a little chance to contribute their own idea. They have a very big brain. They are wasting in Nigeria because of not giving them opportunity to contribute. So I'm the opinion to give them a little chance to come. We have a lot of youth, talented, brilliant, genius that can give us what they have, but no opportunity from the government. You know, somebody has been there and eating money, enjoying. To tell the person to go out of the government, they will find it difficult. But I suggest they will be putting there small, some percentage of population will be given to the youth. That's the only way my suggestion. If there's small percentage, they'll be going small, at least somebody that's up to 80 years to be in power, for me, you get as it be.
To tell you the truth, if I continue with this type of things, the young one cannot grow. Why? Because the suffering is too much in the country. To feed 3 times square meal is very difficult. Okay, to look for a job for the young ones, it's not proper. They are suffering.
There you have it, voice of the people. Let's take the conversation back to the studio.
All right, still talking about generational change. The question on the front burner is, are the youth ready to lead? In the studio with us, we have Prince Mustafa Abubakar Audu. He's a positive change advocate. He's former APC governorship aspirant, Kogi 2019, and also caretaker extraordinary convention planning committee of the APC, youth group, a progressive youth movement. Good morning and welcome to Daybreak.
Good morning.
Welcome. Nice to have you.
Good morning.
As she had earlier mentioned, are the youths really ready to lead?
Yeah, absolutely we are, to be honest. This is the first time young people across the country are coming together in a deliberate manner. Usually young people take on other fields, technology, entertainment, fields that we've thrived in and we've shown true potential. But in leadership, young people have always been involved in the electioneering process, which is the running around, trying to get votes, the legal and the illegal parts of it, whether it's the tout, snatching of ballot boxes, or whether we're the police officers or INEC doing the counting. So that has been the level of youth involvement over the years. But as the progressive youth movement, we've come together and decided, let's actually take deliberate actions towards leadership. Let's headhunt those who we believe can add value to Nigeria. Nigeria is at a point, it's at a precipice, a tipping point. A lot of people are unhappy with the situation. A lot of people are not, excited about what's going on, especially with our great party, the APC. But, just like in life, you're not angry with someone you don't love or you don't care about. So we know that Nigerians love the APC, but they are unhappy with what is going on. And we as young people who know we can do better, who know we can contribute and change things, have now decided, hey, it's high time we come in and we make a real difference. So that is why the progressive youth movement has taken active steps to form part of leadership right now.
Okay, you're talking about youth involvement now. You talked about some steps. Can you, lay down some of these steps that has been taken to improve youth involvement and also to make them more efficient or effective in the society?
Well, as for us, as the progressive youth movement, we were active in the membership registration drive for the APC. Right now, the APC did membership revalidation, and we have over 40 million APC members, of which roughly about 35 million are young people. So you can see the active drive in participation has gone up a great deal from our previous register. Now, as a progressive youth movement, we've also been going around the states, around the geopolitical zones, having town hall meetings, engaging young people, telling them that it's not just about your PVC. The greatest lie that we've been sold is that in order to make a difference, get your PVC, go to the polling unit and vote. Yes, that's true. But you see, it's like going to a supermarket. Whatever is on the shelf is what you can buy. So if you have rotten products on the shelf, it's only between rotten product A and rotten product B. So that's not what we want. We want better quality of leadership at all levels, from top to bottom. That way, Nigeria can truly change. And the only way you can do this is by involvement in the political party. If you're not involved in the political party, you can't make a difference, because you cannot have a say in what type of leaders are produced. So I have run for an election. I ran for governorship in 2019. And just after Mr. President had signed the Not Too Young to Run bill. But what happened? Certain things happen that young people are not aware of. When Mr. President signed that bill, a few people came together and decided, wait a minute, if you allow what Mr. President has done go through, these young people will be running for positions, and they have the numbers. So what did they do? They increased the price. From 5 million for presidential ticket, they increased it to 50 million. Governorship from 2.5 million, they increased it to 22.5 million. So it became a financial way of excluding people. You see, so for me, who came up with that 22.5 million and bought my form, what happened? Time for screening, they said, my birth certificate is not inside. I said, that's not possible. You ticked where my birth certificate is. If you say it's not there, these are copies and the original. Here you go. And they said, submission deadline was 2 days ago. This is how I was removed from the process. So young people that don't know the dangers, that think you can just get up, go and run and make a difference. No. It's what your party produces that will end up on election day for the voters to vote. So if your party doesn't produce the right candidate, that person will never be on the ballot box. So we have made a deliberate attempt at changing things from the party level, because right now the APC should have had a convention long time ago. Other parties are laughing at us. Other parties are happy where we are, and we cannot become complacent like the PDP, who believe that because they were in power they could control everything. Today there's electronic transmission of votes. Today the voters are a bit wiser than before every day. So therefore, we cannot rely on those old techniques that the PDP used. We have to appeal to these voters who love us. But the only way this can happen is if they see young people succeed in an internal democratic process in the APC, if we become part of the process.
Okay. Now, looking at the cost, of governance and all of that, many would say Nigerian youth are too poor, to participate, in political governance and all of that. Are you of that opinion as well?
No, I don't believe so. You're in the media. We both know that a few weeks or months ago, an entertainer wanted to raise money to clear his car, wanted to raise 50 million, and in 48 hours raised over 200 million. Nigerian youths are not poor. Crowdfunding has come to stay. We crowdfunded for President Muhammadu Buhari. Market women bought scratch cards. A lot of people raised money. But you see, young people are not interested in governance or leadership. They have so many degrees in complaining. We complain so much, but to actually take active part in the process, we sit back and say, oh, no, it's too dirty. So you've left it for the people who are comfortable being dirty. So what do you expect? You that you believe that you're clean or have something to offer, you're not willing to get your feet wet. You're not willing to be cheated. You're not willing to go through the pains. So how then do you succeed? Those who are there today have gone through so much. And for them is an investment. As a godfather, I want to retain power. So what am I going to do? Put money down on the people that I believe have my interest. So are you going to blame the godfathers for investing in themselves and their future? No. What were you doing while they were doing that? We were sitting down.
So how do you change that mindset?
The progressive youth movement, we are encouraging all young people, especially APC, but it's not just about the APC. All young people should come together. This is how we come together and we succeed. This is how we come together and speak truth to power. We know there are problems in the APC. The whole country knows, but no one is confident or bold enough to say what is wrong. As the Progressive Youth Movement, we have disbanded the Mimala Buni Committee, the CCPC, because we don't believe in it. Because we believe that they are violating the Nigerian Constitution. Section 183 of the Nigerian Constitution states that a governor cannot hold any other executive position concurrently. Article 17, subsection 4 of the APC Constitution also states that no governor, nobody holding an executive position can be a member of the party, can hold another position in any of the party organs. So what is going on is a huge illegality. In addition to that.
So, sorry to cut you off there. All right, so let's talk about African youth. You know, these days, we all know that they tend to chase frivolities, you know, rather than build their intellectual capacity. So, right now, the question is this actually hindering them from leading?
You see, there's a generality to your question, right? If you say African youths in general, there's usually faulty generalization where you say all men are like this or all women are like that, you know, knowing that that is not the case. We, as a progressive youth, we are young, we are Africans, and we believe in changing the narrative. So to say African youths in general are lazy or not up to the challenge is faulty generalization. There's Malema in South Africa. There are many people across the country. There's the gentleman in Kenya, I forget his name now, you know, and a lot of African youths are trying their best. But you see, we have a huge population. A huge population of African youth are poor, struggling for survival. So how then do you, you know, first is, you know, you feed yourself, then shelter, then you can now think about other things. And if you're not educated, you know, there's a problem. Then there's also another level of education where there's education and exposure, and then there's just simply classroom education. So those ones who have no education or classroom education cannot contribute positively to this leadership space. What they can contribute is the numbers, because they cannot relate to the older generation, but they can relate to faces like ours, like yours, young people who know what they are doing, who know what is pinching us, and who are ready to, you know, make the necessary sacrifices to change, you know, the African narrative. You know, there's so much, you know, technology that we can apply, sustainable, you know, development. The SDGs are based around technology, so many things that the older leaders cannot 100% relate to. And for us, there needs to be a clarity. We're not saying do away with the older leaders, no. We're saying there should be space for us young leaders to come in. Make room for us. Let us work hand in hand together with our leaders. This is why you trained us. This is why we were born. This is why we were brought up, to make a difference in this country. Okay. So give us that chance.
All right. Now, you know, we saw, you know, how the youth came out in mass, you know, for the NSAS, you know, protest and all of that. Would you say that was kind of like a game changer for the Nigerian youth?
In two parts, yes. On the one part, you know, it is a game changer that we came together, had, you know, certain demands, even though it wasn't really, you know, put in the proper way, you know, but we were able to come together and work cohesively. And for the first time, our leaders realized that, hey, these young people can do anything they set their mind to. So that's one aspect. Then the second aspect is the aspect of leadership. There was no leadership in the NSAS movement. There was no real demand, you know. So therefore, even when they said NSAS and government said SARS has been disbanded, it felt like a hollow victory, because the leadership couldn't articulate perfectly what was needed from young people, you see. And then that gave opportunity for other elements to infiltrate. And then from being a youth-driven agenda, it now became a political issue. So that's what happened with the NSAS. That's why, you know, on the one hand, the NSAS achieved something. It showed there was an awakening in the youth. But on the other part, it showed that the youth didn't have leadership. These are some of the lessons we've learned. You need intentional leadership. You need to say what you want. You need to demand real things. So like us, we are saying that in the NWC, which is the National Working Committee of the APC, there are 27 positions. Give us 12. And the 12 we're asking for are the vice positions. Deputy, 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 vice. So let us be the young partners working with our leaders. That is the only way this country can transition. We have less bias towards each other. As young people, we look at what we have to offer rather than ethnicity or religion. We're a lot more enlightened than the older ones. The older ones have more ethnic and religious sentiments in what they do. So give us a chance to heal the country. Give us a chance to bring real dynamic, forward-thinking leadership. This is why we have to be deliberate about this. The fourth estate, the media, the onus is on you to project young leaders that have capacity. So when they say leaders are not ready, you should be able to say, no, they are leaders that are ready. These are the leaders that are ready. We're going around the country identifying these key leaders. So give them a chance. They have the best interest of young people and the best interest of Nigerians at heart. This is not a fight. This is not, we're not on the streets protesting. No. You know, our protest is cerebral. We're thinking in all our actions. We're challenging them, you know, mentally. We're showing them that we have the capacity to make a difference, and we will make that difference mentally. We will not take to the streets. We will not partake in civil disobedience. We will not partake in anything that, you know, puts the country's unity in jeopardy. No. What we're doing is for the best, and it's for APC. And if young people, young Nigerians see that these young people spoke up against what was going on in the APC, and the leaders listened and gave them a chance, then Nigeria is on the right path.
All right, now let's talk about gender policies. We all know that, you know, a lot of young girls and women, you know, rarely have opportunities to act as leaders. How do we change the narrative?
Again, the progressive youth movement. Our leader is a woman. So it's a woman that is leading us right now, and we believe that it doesn't have anything to do with your gender, your religion, your tribe. It has to do with your capacity. Our leader is a woman. We believe she has tremendous capacity to lead us. There's so many people doing fantastically well in all their fields, and politics is part of what we do, yet we're being led by a woman. Our demands for these 12 positions, like I just mentioned, we're asking for deputy, for example, deputy national chairman North and deputy national chairman South. Now, the condition for the North is woman 45 years old and below. So of these things that we've asked, some of the positions are reserved strictly for women. We believe it, especially, you know, we've seen a lot of Southern women involved in politics, but we haven't seen Northern women involved in politics, and they have tremendous potential. So we need to encourage both our Northern and Southern women to be active in politics and to show us their true potential. This is what we stand for. And let's be honest, we're over 200 million people, of which more than 50% of the population are women. Right. Majority of the votes during election are from young women. Women hold everything. But you see, in the APC, our own party, of these 27 positions, only one represents a woman leader.
Okay. Okay, now let's talk about, you know, brain drain. Many would agree that many young people, you know, because of the situation in the country, want to leave, you know, Nigeria and all of that. And others, you know, are saying this, you know, affects Nigeria as a nation. Are you of that opinion as well?
Yes, absolutely. It does affect us as a nation. But if you are well-traveled, if you've been around the world, you know there's no place like home. I studied in the UK, I studied in Glasgow, I did courses in the US, the UAE, I've lived in many places, but here I am in Nigeria, here I am working hard, trying to make a difference in the Nigerian polity context of things, because it's simple. There is no place like home, you know, but we don't understand this simply because there's a huge disconnect between the government and the people. what the people want of their nation is not what they are receiving right now. So they look at, you know, there's a saying, the grass is always greener on the other side. So most people think, you know, especially young people, and there's a saying, let's jackpot. You know, they want to just do whatever and take off, you know. That's what they want to do. But they'll get there and then be involved in crime, criminality. They'll see that, you know, you labor to survive. There's no gift, no charity, no handout. You get there and you're a cleaner till you're 50, 70, 80. And you look back and you see that your life has been wasted. But people don't realize this, that nothing can be better than your home. But we're not putting our hands together to fix it. Government, we're not projecting ourselves in the best possible way. We're not encouraging young people to be part of this system, you know. I mentioned earlier, face value. You know, I know this is not the case, but if you look at it as a young person and say, okay, list of ministers, who can I relate to? None of them are in my age group. List of ambassadors, who can I relate to? None of them are in my age group. And I'm talking about ambassadors. The current UAE ambassador to Nigeria, His Excellency Fahd Al-Tafaq, who is an Emirati, we were in class together in Glasgow. He sat in front of me. So he's my age mate. So you see, other countries use people our age group to represent us, showing that young people are a critical part of the system. Meanwhile, here in Nigeria, my age group were looked at as children. We're not ready yet. Meanwhile, we are at the peak of our abilities. We're at the peak of things. So if our government can encourage us young people, show us that we are an integral part, other young people can be encouraged to see that, well, Nigeria is actually for us. There's nowhere we can build better than this. And then guess what? We're at, it's like America 100, 200 years ago, where we can build so many things, build institutions, and 50, 100 years from now, we'd be the leaders of the world. So that's the true potential Nigeria has. If Nigeria didn't have potential, every government is fighting to have a piece of the Nigerian pie. Chinese government, American government, the UK government, the Russian government, because Nigerian pie is the sweetest pie. But we as a people have not realized this yet.
Okay, just before we wrap up now, is there a positive side to brain drain? Because a lot of people seem to believe that exporting, you know, people is like an investment in Nigeria. Because in 2018, Nigeria, there's a report that Nigerians actually received $25.1 billion from Nigerians living abroad, you know, and it is a figure that tripled the country's capital expenditure budget.
You see, that's a positive right there, you know, that's fantastic. But you see, they go there and they are productive in other countries and send 25 billion. Now, 25 billion would most likely represent maybe 20-25% of their entire earnings, because you would not assume that a man makes £100 and sends the entire £100. He'd send maybe 30, 40, 50. So that 25 billion you mentioned is possibly 20-30% of the actual revenue generated by these individuals. Now imagine this level of productivity in Nigeria. Imagine that. So yes, it is a bonus. Yes, it is good to showcase ourselves. But you see, where we showcase positivity in Nigeria, what we are known for is the negativity. The young people are more involved in 419, living the lifestyle, living those things. So if you show your green passport outside, what people will first think is, oh my God, he's a Nigerian. Am I safe? Am I okay? Am I going to be 419? You know? But if we come back to Nigeria and we make Nigeria productive, we make Nigeria beneficial, you know, our greatest asset is our land. We just don't know it yet.
Well, the conditions need to be favorable as well.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So this is why young people that have capacity to make a difference need to be involved in governance. Because one example I'll give you, practical example, so you get an idea of what we're trying to say. In the 90s, Super Eagles was everywhere. JJ Okocha was known, Kanu Nwankwo, Finidi George. These guys were found on the streets. But today, Super Eagles is, you can't mention that we're good. Why? Because today, footballers are engineered. Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, since they were 5, 6 years old, have been in the gym. Today, as we speak, most likely, if you check where Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi are right now, they're in the gym. You see, so there's an environment for them to be conditioned. But in Nigeria here, the young guys between the cities are in the bush. They are under the mango trees. So how then do they become productive?
I think we have to stop.
Quite an interesting,
Yes, indeed.
We're a bit too honest.
Yes. All right, thank you. So that was Prince Mustapha Audu. He's a positive change advocate, a former APC governorship aspirant, Kogi 2019, and also CECPC chairman of the Progressive Youth Movement. Thank you so much for the discussion. Very insightful indeed.
We hope to have you next time.
Yes, I'll be here. I'll be glad to be here. This has been